What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Neosynthesis here, updating you guys on my sprite list for the new format. I know I just put one up not a few days ago, but I have come on to some new ideas and some new ways of playing the deck. So I figured I'd just kind of share my amalgamation of what I'm running. So the sprite stuff is still pretty dang standard. It's just the triple of all the, make your Spright engine go cards. I feel like everyone is pretty much on this ratio, unless you're playing like maybe a Runick deck, but you just want to make sure you're getting your Spright engine in rotation as often as possible. We have actually upped the number of not plus sprites. I think Pixies is really good in this format, and I think in this deck in general it's really good. This is actually the 41st card is Pixies, but it just being an additional level 2 you can get onto the board, and then sometimes it helps you find creative ways to get games. So I like Pixies and I want to play it, so I am. Play one Monster Reborn. I just think this card's super insane in this deck. And then we are on Deep Sea Diva again. I like Deep Sea Diva. It obviously would be potentially better if it was 2 Nimble Beaver and 1 Nimble Angler, just because of the synergy that it has with Adventure and with actually Shaddoll, the Shaddoll portion of the deck, which I'll get into in just a second. Being able to send, the Angler from your hand to some of the Beavers from your deck. But I think Diva's fine. Diva gives you the additional synergy of being able to add Diva back off of Toad. In which case, even if you've resolved Diva, you can still get another Diva out from your deck for next turn for follow-up, which is one of the main problems with the Spright deck going forward. So this is actually why I prefer Diva, but you could get the same effect by running 3 Nimble Beaver and 1 Nimble Angler. However, that does add 1 more brick, so I'm not 100% sure where I land on that whole ratio. But as you guys probably figured out, we are still on the Frogs. I think that Swap Frog is just really good, and being able to go for Totally Awesome versus anything that's not tier is usually going to be the right call. In those hands where you're uninterrupted, it's super good to go for Swap Frog. There are some ways to end on Swap Frog plus your window board, which I'll get into a little bit later, maybe in a combo video, perhaps this Wednesday. And then we're still on the adventure stuff. I think it's super good in this deck, and just this format in general. It still didn't get hit, so we're just gonna play until it does. Yeah, these are the cards you want to draw, and then everybody knows pretty much the adventure stuff you don't want to draw. These cards are all good. Adventure is really good in this deck, and I think in this format in general, Adventure's very strong. We're still running Swap Frog, so we still get the insane synergy of Pitch, Water Enchantress. And then for the spice, I mentioned it a few times, we're running Gale Dogra, and if you guys don't know what this card does, it actually says you can pay 3,000 life points, send 1 monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. So if you guys don't know, we are going to be sending a Shaddoll App Cologne, which basically reads you can add 1 Shaddoll Spell Trap from your deck to your hand, and then send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. And the card we are adding is Shaddoll Schism, which allows us to fusion summon a monster during the main phase by banishing monsters from our graveyard. So we banish the App Cologne and a Dark to make Winda. And this card is obviously summonable off of Gigantic Spright, which is pretty much what you're going to be getting off of Gigantic Spright, unless you have some reason to believe that Toad is going to be better that game. But this deck is built with flexibility in mind, so... with that being said, we are running a few hand traps and some going second cards. Ash Imperm, I'll be honest, I just recently got my playset of Ash Blossoms. I've been playing for about 8 months without any Ash Blossoms. Saw a good opportunity to get some, pretty good looking Ash Blossoms with the Megaton season. I'm pretty happy with these. So we played the Ashes. These could be easily Nibiru's. The Super Poly could also be Nibiru, but I just think Super Poly is really good this format, just in general. Being able to Super Poly random people. Garura is just insane. It helps you get out of a lot of weird sticky situations. That's it for the main deck. It's 41 cards as opposed to what I usually aim for is 40. Yeah, we'll see if I hate it, but I don't see any reason that I would. For the extra deck, we're running the triple elf double gigantic still. Yeah, I mean, nothing else really to say. This is like your standard Spright lineup. For our XCs, we're running obviously the Gin Buster and the Toad still. Like I said, Toad does come up sometimes, and adding Diva off of that is like completely insane. For the dolls, you know, obviously, like I said, running App Cologne and Window to make off of our Schism. The one Super Poly target that we run is Garura. I don't think you necessarily need more Super Poly targets. I don't think Mudragon or Dragostapelia necessarily warrant enough for me to really care. I think Garura like covers enough of the bases. For my, like, you know, going second, tearing boards apart and kind of killing people stuff, just the Dark Charmer, the Soul Sweeper, Sky Cav, Zeus package. I feel like this is a really vital package, this format, especially because the like the mine and the backrow decks are really, really strong. So yeah, before I was potentially cutting a card in that package, I would definitely not do that this format. For the side, we're really teched out against Tier because we just hate that deck. And it's like the best deck of the format, so obviously you should be. Triple D-Shifter, triple Nibiru, just, you know, my cards that I would side in, you know, versus Tier going second. Obviously, D-Shifter and Nibiru are really good versus a lot of decks. For D-Shifter, I'd probably want to side out my my Swap Frogs just because it's really, really bad under D-Shifter. D-Barrier, we obviously want to draw D-Barrier versus any Fusion or Synchro deck, and then we, like, win. So these 6 cards are really good versus... These 9 cards are really good versus Tier. And this is, like, a going first card that you pretty much always sign. It's, like, you know, Trap Dust Shoot, essentially. Gamma Burst, it, like, lets you OTK, so a lot of times you'll, like, D-Shifter them, and they'll essentially just pass to you. And if you don't just kill Tier, they'll usually just win. So your goal is to just grab Gamma Burst and kill them after you shifted them. And then, yeah, we play this stuff. Obviously, because Mystic Mine is still legal. And then Yu-Gi-Oh's time rules are bad. So we play the 1 card to guarantee us a win if we've got like 1 minute left. Going into game number 3. All right, guys, that is the deck. I don't think Spright is necessarily as good as it used to be, obviously. The Toad setups are a bit crustier, and in general, your deck is a lot weaker to Interruption. But with this build, I feel like it gives you a lot of versatility to either, you know, be able to go for the Toad in matchups where that may be very good, and, you know, be able to go for the Winda in, you know, pretty much every matchup the Winda is good. And there are setups which will enable, you know, Winda totally awesome, Elf protecting both, maybe even a Griffin Rider or and a Smasher set. So this deck can high roll really, really hard, and it is one of the higher ceilings I think you can do with the Spright deck. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this deck. Obviously, I think that the Runick variation is likely a bit better just because it's going to be more consistent and it'll grind a little bit better. But let me know what you guys think about this deck in the comments below. I'm always up for like suggestions on cards that we could tech in, cards that maybe we should cut. Yeah, just let me know you guys' thought. It's been your boy, Neosynthesis. Peace.